Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever early access review. Now, compared to my other reviews, this won't really be scripted. I'm just gonna talk about a game and tell you whether or not you should support it. Honestly, I was never really a fan of early access. One of my biggest issues was that a game can pretty much stay in that state forever, so it can be either in beta or in alpha, but as long as people are still paying for it, it can pretty much stay there. There's no real incentive to leave. But either way, I believe that the game I'm looking at today, GearCity, might actually change my views on that. So pretty much GearCity is a tycoon game in the vein of classics from the 90s and the early 2000s. One game that is very similar to this is Detroit. It'll be very familiar if you've played that game before. I haven't personally, but it's a game that the developers have taken inspiration from. Anyways, you can pick your starting year, the difficulty level, and a few extra options to make it a little bit easier or harder. So once you finish that, you can pick from over 200 cities in the world using real world data from that time period. I try to start out in Asia, but I realized that nobody has any money. So if you want to start from that time period, pick Chicago or New York, honestly, because you will fail. So once you pick your location, you put the name of yourself, the company name, and also the amount of opponents that you want to have. You can pick up to 200 other companies to compete against, which sounds ridiculous, but since you're all over the globe, it honestly is the most realistic. At the first time I played this, I picked 50 AI, but I might make it about 250 the second time around. So a vehicle in this game is made up of a chassis, an engine, and a gearbox. Each part can be made using the advanced creator or the assisted one. I recommend the assisted one just because it's a bit easier to get into, especially if you're not exactly a gearhead. I know I'm not. You unlock new technologies as time progresses, so you always come back to change the frame style, the transmission style, the amount of cylinders in the engine, if you want to change the engine type, and just a bunch more little things that really make the game interesting and just add replay value, honestly. Once all three have been finished, and if they are compatible with each other, it's time to put them together and finally make a vehicle, which is honestly why I bought this game in the first place, just to be able to pretty much make whatever you want to. And the only limit you really have is the car model you pick. If you're doing the tycoon, it's limited by the time period that you're in as you unlock new models as you progress through the game. The cool thing is, depending on the model you make, the length, the width, and the height, it actually affects the stats of your car. The only thing that really doesn't have any effect are the accessories such as headlights, taillights, and the mirrors, but the developers have said that they might put that at some point. So once the time has passed and you can finally release the vehicle up into the public, you can read the reviews if you want, and according to this, my car is one of the fastest cars in the planet and it moves at an impressive 0 miles per hour. That is a complete glitch, but I think I'll let it slide for now. Your company can participate in races, but unfortunately you can't drive the cars themselves. It might be implemented at one point, but it's still an uncertainty. So if you pick a car engine and give money to your team, hopefully they win. As cool as this sounds, it's kind of pointless since you don't really get any cash rewards or anything. You get a bit of a boost image, but it's hardly worth the cost. Whatever is going on in the world will have a direct impact on your automotive sales. So if the stock market crash and you're in the stock market, your stock value is going to drop considerably. If there's a war going on, your production will be hampered because of it. And it's just something to keep in mind. It keeps the game fresh, and just every time you push on, just new challenges, and it also helps to plan ahead. A cool little thing I've noticed when playing this game is as time progresses, everything changes. So the map will change, the office that you live in will change, it'll look more modern, appropriate to the time period. It's a little niche thing, but it's pretty cool to see. So I bought this game solely for the car customization, but honestly the reason that I kept playing was because of the way the economy works. It's very enthralling and engaging, very addicting honestly. Almost every turn I'm changing my production, planning some good cities where to expand to later on, changing my prices, looking at what's currently in demand for body types, looking at competition, so on and so forth. Honestly, it's very educational in a way, as neglecting this stuff, just like in real life, will result in you going bankrupt. But even though I really like the economy, there's certain things they need to fix. Number one, the stock system. I can never take over companies no matter how much money I have. The developer told me the reason why, but I don't know. He told me it's a little wonky, so hopefully they fix that. Another issue I realized is you can pretty much stay with the same models for an extended long amount of time. You can have the same 1901 model well into 1912, which it's weird. By that time, they should already be expecting something, at least within the next 3 years, but whatever. Hopefully they fix that too. So some people might not like the tycoon aspect of the game, and that's fine. There's actually a place where you can just create cars without starting a new game. You pretty much just click on car designer in the main menu. So from here you can really just be creative and not have to worry about whether or not it will sell. I'm not too sure if I'm the only one who's been experiencing this, but this is the part of the game where it started to crash on me a lot, especially after I created my car and I wanted to save it. So I don't know if it's just my computer alone or if it's just a glitch, but hopefully the developer hears me out and can get this fixed right away. So at this game, the stage feels pretty complete. I mean, you can go through this game up until 2020, so you really get a complete game. There's still a few crashes here and there, but according to developers, it's still a long way to go. It's simply early access done right in my book. So of course I would tell you to support it. I would love to see the finished product, and with 14 hours that I've already put into it with the span of 3 days, I'm still not finished playing this game. I really want to see my automotive empire pretty much take over the world. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'm able to do more videos like this in the future for early access, and catch you guys later. This is Powerhouse signing off.